I cannot tell you when it will start happening, but one thing I do know that it will eventually happen. And when it does, you're going to look back and be like, I remember when I used to talk about this thing actually coming into reality. That is why it goes back to what you say to yourself matters, bro. Here we are back once again. Yours truly, the maniac. I go by the name of Thando Nkonyana. I'm the host of the Motivational Maniac podcast. Back with another amazing segment, Current State of Mind, Season 9, fully fledged. We are in. I just want to greet this episode in the holy name of Shiva, the one above. Without the Almighty, wouldn't be here, wouldn't make this a reality, and I'm quite thankful for everything that He has done for me. This one is a reflection once again on our second last month in the third quarter. The last one we shot, us looking over a 3-month period before 2025 comes to an end. I just want to be grateful for everything that I've gone through. I'll be lying if I say things were easy, especially with the month of October that we come from, a month full of tribulation, a month full of mayhem, a month full of challenges, ones which I have been 100% available for, most importantly. And I just want to do a reflection in terms of the turmoil, the struggle, the tribulation, the daily manifestations that I had to face, me fighting myself. And I think I'm going to do my utmost best to be as honest as possible in terms of the reflection itself. Let me just try to make sure that I have a refreshment right here, a limited edition lychee flavor of Jai. I just wanted to try this out today. But yep, it's about the daily reflection. October is the 10th month of the year. My sister's birthday, an amazing month, a month in which I would say is one of the most remarkable months for 2025 in terms of you think you have an expectation of how things will work out, but like I always say, we have your plans, you make your plan, and God loves. But I want to thank the Almighty Shiva for keeping me throughout this turmoil, these challenging times, these difficult moments, the ups and downs itself, having to face myself, having to refine the ultimate goal, and not forgetting how grateful we are. First of all, October started off with us recording an episode. There's a 3-part episode, which are the past 3 episodes with Uyanda Mboniso as well as Ulwazi Matsoba. A very self-reflective moment. These guys decided they're gonna face their fear. They've been wanting to come on the podcast, and as a souvenir, Ulwazi brought along his friend in Uyanda. Shout out to Ulwazi Matroba and Yanda Mboni. So thank you so much for taking the time and also having the courage, guys, to actually face your fears, man. I know it's not very easy, but I want to give you kudos. I want you guys to reflect on this moment and also be grateful as well that you got an opportunity to be on the show. This is a very remarkable show that I have decided to lead forth with as much honesty, with as much authenticity as I can, while telling my journey, reflecting most importantly on my struggles, my turmoils, my victories, and everything else that I can be able to articulate in within this time. For most people who don't know, for those who know, this is not a scripted show. I speak straight from the heart. I speak what's on my mind. And sometimes I might not get the words to articulate it in a way which can be understandable. But I always have to remind myself that I have to tell my story the way that I want to tell it. If it's so clicks with you, if it so resonates with you, so be it. But I am also here to become the author, to become the main protagonist, to become the center of my own world by taking time and, most importantly, the courage to tell these stories. They are very empowering stories. To anyone who hasn't watched the Yanda as well as Loazi episodes, there are three episodes in which you can look at. That will be episode 5, 6, as well as 7. I want you to go back on those episodes. Very teachable moments in terms of the conversation itself and what we have faced. So thank you to you guys. Thank you to exposing the podcast, most importantly, to other different avenues and audiences. And thank you to the person who actually reached out and said that she likes the fact that the show is so relatable. She likes the fact that it is not scripted. It's an opportunity for us to lead with our vulnerability. And I know, guys, this was the first of many for you to actually come on the show. But I also do want to thank you for taking the time once again. I know I am a broken record when it comes to thanking you, but to me, gratitude is so important. It is like the great enabler of even things that are yet to come in the utmost future. But I want to thank you again. So that would be like the ups of the month of October, but the downs would be, most importantly, the inner battles. There were days where I literally had to drag myself to my 9 to 5, guys, and you face with so much challenges sometimes that you fail to acknowledge them and you fail to address them and the impact that they do have on you as a person, because you think they don't, up until you start lacking in terms of your your routines. And I saw myself actually falling victim to that. I started not to believe in my own journey. I started to not believe in my habits. And they say what you don't use, you lose. It got to me, man. I don't want to lie. It really got to me. It nearly put me to a point where I made a very drastic decision and I didn't even take the time to actually think it out. And that is what happens when we let our emotion get the best of us. Instead of using those emotions to mobilize us, instead, we use those emotions to make decisions. And tell me of any decision that you've made in any emotional state, and I'll tell you of something that actually has gone wrong. Maybe you can be able to reflect yourself in terms of when you made a decision where you said, and those decisions can tend to be rash because you are in the moment. But it's also so important for you to take yourself out of that rut. Have a clear mind. Think about the perks. Thinks about the outlooks. Thinks about what could go wrong, what could go right, and uh, and really just don't make the decision out of it seemed like it's the best at that moment. And once you've made that decision, you really can't go back. I'm human. I'm flawed. I'm not perfect, guys. I'm not perfect, and I don't want to seem perfect because I make mistakes, and I'm accountable for those mistakes. I have to be accountable for them because they are mine. Like the victories I get, I am accountable for them. The same thing with the losses. Things went wrong because of myself. I nearly gave into that moment because of myself, because of the fact that I didn't acknowledge that I was not in a state where I could make that decision. Sometimes I do also fall victim to becoming a spectator in other people's lives. You know, you can look at something from the outside and you think, oh, it's all jolly. And you don't realize, or maybe you never encountered or become part of the inner. The inner would means that would be the finer detail that makes up that life that you are currently observing from the outside. And I have to remind myself that my life is unique, man, and I wouldn't want to live someone else's life. I wouldn't want to chase someone's dream. That's why I have to reflect. I have to sit down and meditate on ideas of whose dream am I trying to actually make a reality out of? Is it someone else's dream, as in, are people telling me what I should do, or am I getting that from the higher power, which is the almighty Shiva? Am I fulfilling the visions and the dreams that he has shown me? Am I fulfilling what my ancestors, most importantly, have embedded in me? Because I believe I'm my ancestor in the now. On my face sits the nose of my great, 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 great grandfather, who I never ever got to meet. But let's not forget, we come from somewhere. And if I do not know where I'm coming from, then I actually won't know where I am going. I took a moment this month of October, as I'm reflecting on it. It's not October as we're recording this. It's actually the 11th of November 2025 as I'm recording this, at 5:59 p.m. And I realized, forgiveness is something we do for ourselves, guys. We don't do it for the other person. We really have to acknowledge that we are not excusing that person's behavior. We are not excusing that person's behavior. We have to acknowledge that. We forgive because we want to be free from those limitations that we placed on ourselves. Because we don't really tend to take time to observe the amount of energy that we use to hate, to be in conflict, to take things personally, because that's a choice on its own as well. When you want to take things personally, you actually don't understand that you do make a choice to take things personally. And it all boils down to accountability. And I just thought about a very impactful moment with not having my father in my life, and how that actually hurt me. I talk about it often because it's such a pivotal moment in my life, and the person that I became, the man that I am today, and the man that I'll continue to become, because I have to choose to be better, because I already know what not to do. And I actually said this to my sister. We're so blessed about the fact that we already have examples of what decisions we shouldn't make. Some mistakes in life, you are not going to be the person who's going to experience or go through them. Some mistakes, you have to see others do them, and it must come to you as a realization that if I don't want the outcome of that person, it means I need to make a different decision, and that will be the total opposite. And I'm talking about my father, man. I didn't actually realize how much he means to me up until he was in my company. It was for a couple of days and a couple of weeks, and I conversated with him. I had the man-to-man talk. But one thing I'm actually proud of is that I forgave him, and I continue to forgive him with every moment that I get, because I have to remind myself that, no amount of bickering and not being on good terms with someone who you share blood with, and even meaningful relationships. There's many kinds of relationships. There's family, there's friends, there's romantic relationship. It gets to a point where no amount of bickering is worth than actually making peace. Because if you're going to value being right, bro, I think you need to understand that you're going to be alone. There are people who, at this current moment, are alone because they led with the spirit of, I want to be right. And look where wanting to be right actually got them. It got them alone. It got them miserable. And you don't realize how prideful you become because you don't want to be wrong. So you can't identify yourself with that. So the conversation I had with my dad was, first of all, I love you, bro. A majority of my life you were not in it, but I just want to tell you that I love you. At a younger age, when you were there, as I get older, I understand why you were hard on me. And shout out to Abdul Latif, Lish'ar Abdul Latif, who said to me, you know, Thando, one day you're going to be in the position of your father yourself, of a baby girl. You're going to want your daughter to forgive you, bro. Why can't you do the same for your father? And man, it just got me shook, bro. It literally got me shook. And so the moment he landed, I waited for the dust to settle. And once the dust settled, I made him listen to one of the podcast episodes where I was talking about him with my cousin. Shout out to Carl Pinor. And I was talking about him not being there, but how that also like helped me as well. I needed to be able to look at the positives of not having him there, because now I had a duty to go and find out how to survive as a young man. I had to go out there and look for the father figure role. I had to make the decisions regardless. I couldn't let him not being there become an impairment towards the decision that I still needed to make. I decided what actually influenced me and my view set in terms of how a man sees the world. And I want to also remind you that it is still your responsibility as a man, even if you don't have that role model in your life, even if you don't have that role model in the house, it's still your responsibility to go out there and seek that. And sometimes you seek that into yourself. But trust me, a majority of the time, we don't even bother looking. We say, Father is not in here, so there's not someone that I could be able to learn from. I can count the amount of men that I've never met in my life, but because I immersed myself so much into the internet, into the content creation, into speaking, I started to seek out these qualities that I wanted to be actually led by in other men, in hustlers like the DJ Smoos of the world, the Panyo, the Bloodpen, the Vusi Tembakwayos, the Eric Thomas, the Zig Ziglars, the Les Browns, and all these motivational speakers. The list goes on. I'm like the David Goggins, mentality king of all time, the Gary V's, Gary Vaynerchuk, and all these men that I didn't physically get to see, but that still didn't take me away from the fact that they can be able to teach me. Then I had the physical people, the Joshua Coolers of this world. Shout out to my dad, bro. Shout out to Mr. Joshua Cooler. What a very pivotal part that you are playing, the part that you played. I never ever in my life want to downplay the importance of you speaking less and letting me do more. You reminding me that it doesn't stop here, bro. It really doesn't stop here. The journey is always going to continue, irregardless of where you are. So shout out to him for reminding me of my own strength. Shout out to him for letting me make the mistakes. For him reminding me that it's through mistakes that we learn how capable we are. We can't identify ourselves with the mistakes. You can't identify yourself with anything that has failed in your life because it failed. You didn't fail. You see? So that was one of the conversations that I led with. I'm like, next I told him, bro, I'm actually proud of the fact that you married my mom. I'm literally carrying your name. I'm your only son. I'm the only son that my dad has, bro. I'm the only one, bro. I'm the one who needs to continue the family legacy. I'm the one who's going to take his name to the next stature. I'm the one who has to build the next generation of of what my bloodline is going to be. I'm the one who's responsible. And you know what? Nothing makes me more proud than that. I have to do what I have to do. No excuses, bro. Really, no excuses. And it's going to take time. It's going to take perseverance. It's going to take trial and error. I'm going to make mistakes. I am going to feel like quitting. But all in all, I know that my heart is in a good state. My intentions are in a good state because I understand that I have a legacy to create. Fundamentally, I had to remind you, bro, that I love you. You're my dad, and we don't choose family, guys. You didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose your parents. I might not come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family is going to come from me. That's affirmations. And what I do in the now impacts the future. So if I can embed myself in the struggle, if I can embrace everything that is thrown my way in the struggle, and that is the tribulations, then I already know that it is a guarantee. I cannot tell you when it will start happening, but one thing I do know that it will eventually happen. And when it does, you're going to look back and be like, I remember when I used to talk about this thing actually coming into reality. That is why it goes back to what you say to yourself matters, bro. Speak life. Speak prosperity into yourself. It's going to be hard, but tell yourself, I'm going to do it. Even if I don't feel like getting up, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it a reality, bro. Look at me. I'm literally the future version of myself. The amount of years it took for me to make this promise to be like, okay, let's put this podcast out, bro. Let's distribute. Let's do all of this. Let's do what's necessary. Because there's a difference between those who make it and those who don't. And it's all about setting the intention and following through. You said you're going to do this because you have to live with yourself and your regrets if you do not execute. This is one of the greatest times in history for you to make your life a reality. And it all starts with mindset. Become the best version of yourself. Compete with yourself, your old self. The only person you need to do better than is that person in the mirror. Look at yourself. Are you happy about where you are? Go and reflect on the decisions that you've made, because we don't realize sometimes that the decisions that we have made have led us up until this point. If we are not happy about where we are, it's time for us to make different decisions. It's time for us to make different decisions, and it's going to take courage. It's going to take brutal honesty. You need to be honest. Huh? You need to be bloody honest with yourself. Because nothing comes easy. If it were easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would do it. Stop wanting my life. Start to want your own. Love your life. Love the people that are in your life, bro. Love yourself, most importantly. Have that relationship with self. And remember, you don't have time. Spend your time like you spend your money. We are so careful on how we spend our money, but we're not careful about how we spend our time. After this, I'm going to be feeding, bro. Like, I'm literally like trying to integrate artificial intelligence in how I move right now, bro. You got to move with the times, bro. Like, AI is the next big thing, and I encourage each and every person who's going to encounter this content, you better go and learn AI. I'm doing that shit as we speak, bro. And I haven't even hit the surface. Like the amount of possibility and potential that it has. I don't even think we can fathom that shit. I don't even think we can. Because we don't want to learn. Life is always going to be a series of learning and unlearning. Every single day, I'm a step closer to the reality that I seek. Because each and every time I put in work, I'm a step closer than I was yesterday. You are a step closer than you were yesterday. And don't take all the actions that you have done up until this part, Thando, for granted, because everything compounds. All these episodes, they compound. Shout out to everyone who has subscribed to my YouTube channel. I'm nearly on 100 subscribers. I started from 0. I had to start from 0. I had to embrace the 0, man. God damn. Where would I be if I didn't persevere? We're on 0. We're on 97 right now. So please take the time to subscribe, like, comment. My channel is on YouTube, Thando Nkonyana. That would be THANDO NKONYANA. That would be my last name, Thando Nkonyana. Subscribe on my YouTube channel. That's where the vodcast Motivational Maniac is on. That's where our short form videos of the episodes are on. Please take the time, listen, learn, and if you can relate, please take the time to comment and tell me what you have learned up until this moment. Appreciate those who've taken the time to actually go on my channel. Even if it's watching 30 seconds, we appreciate 30 seconds because that is time, like I said, that you can't get back. And if I can pour in positivity, if I can pour in perspective into you, that can be able to point you back to yourself, hold yourself accountable, do the necessary action. Then I played my part. I just want to empower people to tell their stories more often. I want to encourage people to realize that you have nothing to lose. And there's many ways of self-expression, and I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are doing different ways of expressing themselves, and it's like a productive way to put your pain into your craft, man. I have my best friends, Lubabalo and as well as Upongo, who are great artists. They put that work into the artistry. Lubabalo is also a music producer. He puts that into his music production. And I have a whole lot of tons of other people. I have Nifty, who is the designer. Shout out to Sia. I have Uspetukolo. Shout out to Uspe Naye. He's also an artist on his own. Bro, we have all these people that are such amazing human beings. And it's an honor and a privilege to have met them, bro. Like really, it's really an honor and a privilege to have met y'all. And for you to guys continue like contributing towards my journey in a very productive and a very positive aspect. Y'all are the ones who are pushing me. Y'all are the ones that give me the courage to continue to do what I do. And man, I'm building a legacy for my baby girl, Lingomso. That's a time Lingomso. I love you, my baby girl. You're getting old now. You're really getting older. I can't believe just yesterday I was changing nappies and now I'm taking you to school. And next thing I'm going to be taking you to prom. Next thing I'm taking you to matric ball. Oh my word. Oh my word. It just shows how time flies. So everything I'm doing, my baby girl, is for you, my child. And when you go back to these videos in the future and you're much older, just always realize that daddy always loved you. And he's doing everything to ensure that you have a better life than he can ever imagine. You're my pillar of strength. You're my everything. And to my family as well, guys, I'm representing y'all. Sometimes it's so hard for you to get it, but one day you will eventually get it because it's all for you. I might seem like I'm neglectful, I am unavailable and all those things, but trust me, deep down, I always think about y'all and how best this can be of benefits to you guys because of the fact that my successes doesn't only belong to me, it belongs to my family as well. When I'm successful, you guys are successful as well. And also a form of encouragement for you to continue and make something out of your lives, man. Because life is not easy on its own. But everything I do, like I said, I do it for y'all. 2025 is a landmark year for me. It's the year I went in hard with my content. I can't believe I have over 500 videos on YouTube. It's quite evident that when you put your head down and let the work speak, and these are the outcomes and the results that you shall receive. Don't forget to always make yourself proud, young man, young woman, and anyone who gets to watch this. But the reason why I'm saying young man and young woman is because my target audience will be young people. I want them to have a sense of hope, for them to realize that your life is only beginning, man. My life even hasn't begun. Like, if you think this is success, you got it twisted, man, because this is only the foundation phase. We're just putting the foundation. The building hasn't even stood up. How can the building stand if it doesn't get built on solid ground? That's why foundation is everything. You see, I want you to see me and be like, okay, he made it out of nothing. Because trust me, I will get there. Even if it takes 10, 5, 15, 20 years, eventually I will be there. And once I get there, there's still more to do. The story never dies. The legacy continues. And like my stepfather says, a luta continua. The struggle continues. This is the end of another current state of mind, Thando Nkonyana, Motivational Maniac. Let the journey continue. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in up until this point, to all the subscribers, to everyone you have touched in positive, some in negative ways. Thank you so much. It's the best of both, man. We need the best of both, but this journey is not going to stop from here. This is only the beginning. Thank you to the Almighty Shiva for these humble beginnings. My first property. God keeps blessing me. And also shout out to Uti Nazai. I said I'm going to mention her on my next current state of mind. The reason why I'm shouting her out is the fact that she's my colleague and she would tell me that, thank you, Thando, for inspiring us on your WhatsApp. She's on my WhatsApp list and she's watching the short form content from me. So I wanted to take this moment and thank you, Tina. Thank you so much. Those words mean a lot for me. It means a lot for you to also take the time to watch my content and actually tell me how positively it's impacting you. I'll continue to do that. And to the Almighty Shiva, thank you for continuing to use me as a vessel. Please continue to protect me. To my mother in heaven, Mama, I'm going to make you proud. Thank you so much. I've already seen the blessings that you provided to me. Thank you to my dad for pulling through. I know it was a brief moment, but I needed to have that conversation with him. Thank you to my sisters for being impeccable in terms of the support. And I just pray for them as well to be strong, man. Especially with the battles they tell nobody. Because I know life ain't easy, man. It ain't easy for nobody. So I just want to encourage you all to live a fulfilled life and understand that tough times don't last, tough people do. So you're only being tested. Um, don't forget, you are worthy, you are capable, and you matter. Namaste, inshallah.